What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here. Guys, we have some crazy news coming this weekend when it comes to banners, which is good, but also kind of annoying because we literally just had a video this last week talking about if we had too many banners, and now we're getting this pretty good one. But let's dive into it and we can discuss it after this. And welcome back, guys. Like I said, we have a banner sort of discussion video to talk about today. So we're going to go into events and we're going to talk about it. And this is the banner, guys. It's an ancient banner, which is a good sign because it's not another blue or gold summon, which means we have some time to save those resources back up. However, because it's ancients, it's a little more difficult to build these up, especially if you are the type of person that just summons whenever these banners are active, which I know some people are. I am one of those people that typically goes in on these banners because I have a summoning addiction. However, this banner is really good for a couple different reasons. First reason is I believe this is our first 15x ancient summoning banner, which is really, really good because it means that if you do summon on these banners, you have a very, very good chance to pull the two featured units. One of the downsides is that the featured lord in this summoning pool is Aracha, who is a base legendary, right? She's a base legendary lord. And what I mean by that is if we come in here, she is in the regular summoning pool. However, because of how good Aracha is just in general as a champion, it's still a really good banner. So we'll quickly break her down and kind of break down why she's really, really important, and discuss the other champion as well in this video. It'll be relatively quick, but let's just dive right into it. So her talent is whenever she attacks an unblocked target, she gets crit damage and crit rate. That's okay. She has a base physical attack, but she does have the ability to hit airborne units, which is pretty nice. Her ultimate makes her evolve, increasing her damage by 40% and hitting an additional target for 20 seconds. That's kind of cool. It just gives her a little bit of AoE on her basic. Nothing super crazy, but not bad. Then she has attacks inflict spider toxin on the target for 3 seconds, which is just 10% continuous magic damage per second. When the target dies in our spider toxin effect, it will explode, dealing AoE damage and inflicting poison. Kind of cool. Not super crazy, though. Then we have every 6 attacks, the next attack will ensnare the target in spider webs and inflict stun on them, lasting for 1 second. If the target is airborne, the effect duration is extended to 2 seconds. So her kit's cool. It's not crazy good, but the main reason we want to use her is her lord skill. And the reason being is because the fact that she is a piercer lord gives us a couple things. A, she's legendary, which means we get the 15% stat boost. So she's 5% stronger than Lunaria, which is really, really good. And then we have the second portion, which is all faction team members' attack ranges are also increased. This gives you 1 additional tile set range forward, which allows you to hit sooner. This is really important for certain places, specifically places like Gear Raid 3. It's also really helpful in a lot of other areas as well. It was actually very helpful in like the Reeve event, for example, and Gear Raid 4. It could be potentially good in certain situations. But Gear Raid 3 is like the main reason, the main place you're going to be using that lord skill. However, the other part of this is that for every 1 tile away from the target, the damage increases by 5% up to 50%, which means if you're 10 tiles away and you're dealing damage, you get a 50% damage boost. Now, as far as I am aware, there aren't many champions that have a range that hits that far. We can go and we can look, right? So your typical damage dealers are going to be like your Silas's, right? And we can go and look at the range here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 tiles. So you're getting 20% damage, which is really good. If we go and look at someone else, like let's look at Hex is another common one. Right, so if we go here, it's the same, right? You've got 4 range. However, there are some champions, specifically one champion, that this is really, really powerful on because of the fact that we have the ultimate, which gives her unlimited range, which means she's going to be dealing that 50% damage, additional damage, almost all the time, especially in places such as Gear Raid 3. However, she's very, very important in some of the sort of meta comps of different areas of the game. For example, right now, she is very, very good in Guild Boss. If we go and we look at the top people, there are quite a few people that are running the Aracha, Silas, Hex, core damage comp, and then running the secondaries of Twin Fiend and Anai and Zillatu, etc. Right? It's a pretty common thing. You'll see it. It's in number 1. It's in number 2. Oh, actually, that's not world. My bad. But if we look here, right? So you've got Aracha, Hex, and Silas. If we go down again, Aracha, Hex, Silas, Aracha, Silas, Hex, right? We've got almost every comp in the top 10 has Aracha, Hex, and Silas. And that's because it's a very, very powerful damage comp. If we go and we look, like you're seeing 263 million from Hex, 180 million from Silas. You're getting a lot of damage because of the Aracha Lord skill, that provides you with that additional 50% damage. Very, very powerful. So those are 2 of the main reasons that she's really, really good. However, we do also have a third area of the game that is coming, and that's Immortal Codex. I don't know if it's in here yet. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Let's see. Let me double check here. I think it's this one. I'm not positive, but I believe that this new boss is the one where you actually really, really need a Piercer Lord. Most of them are using Aracha. Some of them are using Eovar because he is another Lord that's coming to the game here soon, specifically on Forerunner. People have used Eovar. I almost died there, my bad. And then, of course, you have Lunaria. And Lunaria is good, but Lunaria doesn't give you the damage increase, which is very, very important. So that's one of the main reasons why this banner is really good, is Aracha is very, very good in many of the important game modes that give you rewards. Now, if you already have an Aracha, it's not really worth pulling on her because her A1's not that great. Her A2 is okay, but increasing damage to airborne units by 5%, like, realistically, it's not going to do a lot for you. So I don't think it's worth pulling for dupes of her. If you already have one, you probably want to skip this event, because if you do pull her as a legendary lord, that resets your pity on an ancient banner for a regular banner legendary lord. However, if you don't have an Aracha, I think she's incredibly important, and I do think you should pull on this banner. Then, of course, we have Sargak. Sargak is a very strong champion. First of all, he looks amazing. I love this design. I've always loved, like, orcs and trolls, and I think they're great. I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and I always played an orc or a troll for a long time, at least. So, love Sargak. He looks cool. He's a chaotic piercer, and he has recently gotten a sort of change to how his kit works, and he's very, very powerful and used in a lot of different areas. If I remember correctly, he is used in Arena very often. Let's see if we can find Sargak here. Yeah, here we go. Sargak is being used here in a single target arena, right? I think there's a couple more people that have him as well. Here we go, single target arena. And he's not there. Not there. But as you can see, though, he's in, here we go, in anti-air arena, right? He's in a lot of the sort of endgame meta team comps for arena, which is really, really good. Wow, he's using the exact same team for everything except this Ajax slot. That's funny. Oh, and I guess this is not using Pelagios. Anyways, but that's the point. The point I'm trying to make is he is very good in endgame arena. And yeah, he's a pretty good champion as well, because he has this talent. Each attack launched has a 25% chance to trigger Blood Spear, inflicting bleed on the target. If the target is already inflicted with bleed, Blood Spear ignores 50% of their defense. Basic prioritizes air units, just a regular basic. Ultimate, when triggered, reduces 10% of current HP per second, reduces defense by 30%, and increases attack by 35%. Additionally, each basic attack lands 2 consecutive strikes. So it basically just gives him a period of time where he has triple damage because he's hitting 2 extra times, and he has the additional 35% attack, which increases the damage even more, right? So a pretty decent ultimate. Then we have increased attack speed by 6 for every 1% HP lost. The effect of specialized attack speed is stronger when HP is lower. So this is really good, up to 10 per 1%. Very good attack speed. And then when the target's HP is below 40%, increase the hero's damage by 10%. If the target is already inflicted with bleed, Bloodseer will inflict immobilized state, which is just a completely unable to move. For 2 seconds, and this can be triggered up to 1 time every 5 seconds. So very, very good. And of course, he also has this increased arena damage by 15%. He's a very good champion. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. And if you happen to pull him, he does not reset your Legendary Lord Pity on the Ancient exclusive banners, which is really good. Both of these champions are very, very, very good. And if you don't have Aracha, I highly recommend you pull. If you do have Aracha, I think this is a skip because I've just recently looked into some of the data mines. Fastidious just made a video on this as well, and it does look like we are going to be getting an Eovar banner probably pretty soon. Not like next week soon, maybe a month, 2 months, potentially even 3 months out. We don't know, but we do have banner, information, like what the banner looks like. And because of that, there's a good chance that it's going to be in the game soon. And if that's the case, Eovar is probably, I'm pretty sure he actually is, I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure he is an Ancient exclusive, and odds are he's going to be better than Aracha in almost every game mode, if not every game mode for sure. So if you already have an Aracha, I highly recommend you skip this banner. If you don't, I do think that this is a good banner to pull on because of how important Aracha is for an account, especially with this new Immortal Codex boss that's coming out. As well as just how much potential you could gain in the areas of the game. Now, I myself am not 100% positive if I want to pull on this banner. There's a good chance I'm going to. However, I don't have a lot of Ancient Summons built up. If we go and look, I have... If I can find them, I only have 10, right? I don't have a lot of Ancient Summons collected. However, I am pushing really, really hard to try and get 50k blood in my Nightmare 4 guild boss. And if you'll see, you'll be able to see I have A1 Silas. I also have, where's my hex? I have an A1 hex, right? I have the champions to do it, but I'm only able to use Lunaria, so I don't get the additional boost that Aracha provides. And I really do think that having Aracha on the team is going to give me a pretty big boost in damage. So there's a potential that I pull on this banner. However, because I don't have too many, and I am nowhere near Pity, because I did just find out that pulling Ajax resets your Legendary Lord Pity, which is incredibly annoying, and I did not know that. I was thinking that I was much further along in my Pity than I actually am, which is frustrating. So cool I got Ajax, but unfortunately I did reset my Legendary Lord Pity with that, which is unfortunate. But ultimately, guys, I think this banner is really good. I do think you should pull on it if you don't have an Aracha, and or I guess if you want to wait for Eovar, you could, but theoretically that banner could be 3 months away. We don't really know. So if you really, really want Aracha and you're having trouble clearing several game modes, including Gear Raid 3, or you're trying to get your 50k blood in Nightmare 4, etc., I really want to do that because I want to save 200 gems a day. At the moment, I do Nightmare 4 twice because I'm at about 35 to 40k on auto. And so I have to do 2 attempts on Nightmare 4, and then I'm also paying 200 gems to do Nightmare 3 as well. And so because of that, it's a little unfortunate, but because of that, that's kind of where I am sitting, and it sucks. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. And, you got to work with what you got. And hopefully I will be able to, make some good progression if I happen to decide to go in on this banner and I do happen to pull, Aracha. That would be pretty game changing for me, in most scenarios. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't know for sure how it's going to work out, but I do think that I have a good chance of being able to make, some decent progression on my, Nightmare 4 guild boss, and will be really, really helpful in the new Immortal Codex boss. I already have Gear Raid 321 done, so I don't need Aracha for that. Of course, I could do it and make it faster, but I don't really care too much about that. But ultimately, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this new banner. Are you going to be pulling? And if so, what are you hoping to get? Are you aiming for that Sargak? Are you aiming for your first copy of Aracha? Maybe you're aiming for not your first copy of Aracha. Maybe you really do like that A2 or, you know, even something further down the line. Aracha is not the best legendary lord in the game when it comes to her actual skill kit, but she is a pretty good champion overall. Of course, she's a legendary and she's a lord, so, you know, they're going to be better than most other champions in the game when it comes to anything below legendary, but we'll just have to see what happens. We'll have to see, you know, how many ancients we're able to get our hands on before that and see if it's something that's really worth going in for myself personally. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button to let me know that you liked it. Make sure to leave a comment down below with if you guys are pulling. How many ancients do you guys have? Are you close to your pity? I'm kind of curious. I know some free-to-play players are probably getting close to that level, and I'm excited to see if you guys have pulled one or not. And guys, we're also, again, we're trying to make that push to 5K subscribers. So please, 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 if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, share this video with all your friends, send it to your guilds. I'm sure they would appreciate the content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.